Hi guys, it's me and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here then welcome. In this video I am finally going to be talking about Color Magic, its correspondences, how you can use color in your practice, and so much more. So if you would like to learn more about that, then continue on watching. Now to begin, I think it's of course important to know what something is before you actually get into the nitty-gritty of it. Now, what is Color Magic? Now, Color Magic is a practice of working with colors to represent specific energies and intentions, and this means that basically each color is associated with a specific spiritual energy that can basically be harnessed and directed towards a specific goal. Basically, that means that each color means something and that you can use colors to represent what it is that you want. Now, what's interesting is that subconsciously colors are also able to affect us physically and emotionally as well. This is because colors basically signal action, it influences our mood and even our psychological human behavior. Now, this basically means that it doesn't affect us like directly, but rather that it influences the way that we think, the way that we feel, and even do certain things. Now, I think that this is knowledge that I use as a strategy when it comes to marketing, such as when choosing colors to represent a specific company, an organization, or even the color of a symbol itself. Now, by mindfully selecting colors, you're able to visually see a representation of your desire, which basically in turns adds another layer to the energy that you are building. The different ways in which you would use Color Magic, just to give you like the ideas right now, so that when I tell you the colors, you more or less know how to use them. It pretty much depends on what it is that you want to do, and your, I guess, tradition and your own practice. But in a nutshell, you can use them in candles, you can use them in altar cloths, you can use them in visualization. The way that you would use them in visualization, it would be by visualizing a cloud or a bubble or anything that is able to surround either you or an environment or a place or a thing with the color that you basically are trying to use. You can also use Color Magic in your clothing and your accessories. You can use them in stones and crystals. Like literally you can use them like in rocks, whether it is by painting them a specific color, or what I did when it came to selecting my elemental stones was that I chose black. Well, I actually have a video on how I made them, but essentially, you know, black to represent earth. I used red to represent fire. I used yellow to represent air, and then I also use this like bluish, whitish, grayish stone to represent water. Now, these specific stones, I didn't actually paint them this color. I actually just picked them from the place that I picked them from, and once I had like a lot of them but with different colors, I just selected the ones that I was going to use for this specific purpose. When it comes to you selecting colors and how to use them, literally it's all about just you being creative and finding different ways of how to incorporate colors. Now, when it comes to color correspondences specifically, the symbolism, the representation, and the meaning of the colors basically vary across cultural association and its related psychology and personal significance. When it comes to cultural association, it basically means the meaning and symbolism of colors within different cultures or societies. To give you like a few examples, the color red is typically associated with with love. But in other countries, red is a color of luck, such as in Japan. Another example is the color green, and how in some places it's a color that is connected to money, but in other places you could connect money with the colors purple, pink, red, orange, and I think even blue, such as in the Dominican Republic, because there are currencies, or rather bills, that are, those specific colors. Moving forward, there's color psychology, which is basically the psychological and emotional effects that colors have on us as individuals. Then there is the personal significance that basically is about what a color means to you as an individual based on either your memories, your experiences, your personal experiences, and so on and so forth. But typically the one that people tend to use is the cultural association, sometimes personal significance, but for the most part it tends to be cultural association. Now, to begin with the color correspondences, the actual information that you came here for, I would like to give just a quick disclaimer, and that is that colors and their magical correspondences overlap like quite a lot. This is just my own or I guess organization when it comes to those properties that they have, because I didn't want to have a lot of overlap, and they do that quite often. So this is just like my simplification. Quite honestly, you are basically going to be able to get the general gist of the overlap once I mention them, but just to like let you know, again, this is just like my own list of, you know, magical correspondences relating to these colors. Now, with that being said, we are going to be starting with the primary colors. Side note, highly suggest that when it comes to Color Magic and you add it to your book of shadows or wherever you're, you know, putting this information in, really suggest that you also add like the color wheel, you know, with the, like the primary colors, secondary, and the tertiary colors. Tertiary, yes. Add it there, because you can also add, like, connect colors to basically form like a new, I don't want to say a new color, but like the resulting color will pretty much be able to have the personal association that you give it based on the two colors that you created. I'll talk about it a little bit later, just to give you like an idea of what I'm trying to say, but just keep that in mind. So let's begin with the color red. The color red is associated with the element of fire. And this color is also associated with passion, its lust, its sexuality, its willpower. It's also courage and strength and vitality and speed. Also, it's connected to anger, it's connecting to blood, therefore it's also life, it's also insatiable hunger. Then there's yellow. Yellow is a color that is connected to the element of air. It is a color that's associated with joy, it's happiness, it's also communication and travel and intellect, clarity, and also inspiration. Also, it can be the color of confusion. When it comes to the color blue, blue is a color that's associated with the element of water and is also associated with healing, its emotion, its tranquility, and also truth and dreams. Additionally, it can be a color that's associated with sadness, its isolation, its anxiety. Moving on to the secondary colors, we have the color green. Now, green is a color that's associated with growth, its abundance, its fertility, its luck. It's also success and business, its love, its material needs and health. Also, it can be the color of sickness and greed and jealousy. Remember when I mentioned that the color blue, it's associated with healing and emotion. So when I think of blue, I think of healing emotionally. I think of healing that emotional aspect of yourself. When it comes to green, on the other hand, I think of physical healing. Remember when I said that yellow was a color of communication? You could also argue that blue could be a color that can be associated with communication because of the throat chakra, which is colored blue. Again, overlap. This is just like the way that I was able to like simplify in order to just like find quick reference and just basically it being more easy to digest. Anyways, moving forward, we have the color orange. So when it comes to the color orange, we have the element of fire as well. Think of energy, think of creativity, self-expression, think of enthusiasm, and also confidence. So when it comes to orange, the way that it makes sense to me is that it's a combination of both yellow and red. So we have intellect, yellow, we have communication, we also have inspiration, it's the thought. And then we have red, which is the action, is the strength, it is vitality. We have, fire, it's the act of you doing something, therefore action, right? So we have thought, we have action, combine them together, and then we have self-expression, then we have creativity, we have energy, the energy of you doing something. That's the way that I understand the color orange and other colors, but this is just like, again, giving you an example of like what you could do, and the reason as to why I think using the color wheel in your own book of shadows will add into your own magical practice, because you're able to combine two colors with different magical correspondences to create one that will basically have its own personal significance. Moving forward, orange is also a color that's associated with false hope and also delusion. Then we have the color purple. I connected with the element, I guess, of spirit and ether, right? This is a color that I connect with royalty, it's a royal color. I connected with spirituality and wisdom. I connected to intuition, psychic abilities, and serendipity. But also I connected with domination and also nightmares. Now, domination, royalty. To me, royalty, it's more of like you giving you, I guess, the permission to belong somewhere where you normally think that you do not belong in. It's you telling yourself, you know what, I am who I am, I have like my own innate power, and I want to be somewhere, therefore here I am. That's the kind of royal like energy that I associate purple with. When it comes to domination, well, it's more of like you dominating a situation, person, or something, like, yeah, in that sense, right? Now, moving forward to the more neutral and monochromatic colors. By the way, side note, I'm like hot, so I will probably get red, and y'all will see me extra shiny. That's why. Island, even though it's night, it's hot. If I turn on my fan, y'all will hear that, and I want quality, right? So, but anyways, moving on. Point is, let's start with the color pink. So pink to me is a color that I associate with the element of water. Think of how water is very gentle, it's very soft, or at least the way that I think it, right? Overall, the color pink, that is basically, think of anything like that. So gentleness, think of literally romance, like love. Think of relationships, think of beauty, think of glamour, think of attraction, also think of affection and compassion. Think of anything that is gentle and sweet and very just soft and delicate. Think of literally anything that's relating to that particular thing. When I say relationships, I'm referring to obviously, romance, as I said, but also I'm really referring to family, I'm referring to friendships, I'm referring to that kind of general concept of relationships themselves. Aside from that, it's also connected to, or at least I connected to, immaturity and also like a facade. It's like a mask, you hiding something, your true colors. When it comes to the color brown, I connected to the element of earth. Even though green is also an element, even though green I associated with earth as well, to me, green is more the surface of the earth. So think of the green, the flowers, and anything relating to that sort. Brown is more to me the soil, where the darkness of where the seed is actually in. To me, I connect brown with practicality. I connect it to stability, grounding. It's security, it's nature, it's nurture. But also it can be clouded mentality, meaning that it's so many things you're unable, it's not confusion, it's more of like you're unable to make proper decisions, proper actions, because you just cannot think straight, if that makes sense. Then we have the color white. You know, white I associated with the element of air. This is a color that I also connect with divinity. I connect it to reverence. I connect it to blessings, new beginnings. I connect it to innocence, it's purity, it's harmony, it's peace. You know, it's basically that innocence mentality. But also, it can be associated with illusion and also trickery. Think of how children are very mischievous and that kind of stuff. You know, they're innocent, they're not evil, it's not necessarily that they're mean or that they did it on purpose. It's just they're just very mischievous, I guess you could say. And now that you guys have the correspondences of the color white, I'm going to be giving you another example of combining two colors to make another one. Now we have, obviously, you know, white has to do with innocence, it has to do with purity, harmony. Then we have red, which is lust, it's sexuality and all of that. So connect those two together and again you get pink. And basically pink has to do with romance. You know, it's the lust, it's the innocence, it's the purity, it's the softness of the white with the strength of the red. And that's basically how I see, you know, pink. It's a combination of those two colors that results into what it is. Now, continuing with white, white is also a color that is projective. It's think of the masculine aspect of the divine. It's very like a masculine energy because I associated it with projection. So to give you like an easier example, think of shielding, protecting, right? When it comes to protecting, I see white as if it's creating a shield, right? Like in your case, I guess, as an individual example, if you were to use white in the form of visualization, you can see it as the color white being literally like projecting a shield that's unable to allow things from the external into the internal. When it comes to the color black, on the other hand, we have the color that is associated with the earth. Think of darkness, right? Think of the hidden knowledge, think of protection, think of inhibition, think of banishment, transformation, and reversal. Think of how one thing turns into another, right? Think of also misfortune, retribution, destruction. Now, when it comes to destruction, again, it sounds horrible, but destruction is actually good in the sense that it's like the death card. You know, it's the ending of something which allows for something new to grow, something new to flourish. This is a color that I associate with it being more receptive. So think of the feminine aspect of the divine. It's receptive, it's sucking in energy, the way that I see it, right? So when it comes to using it in the form of like a reversal or protection, I see it more of like, rather than again it creating something around you, I see more of like all of the gunk being absorbed into the candle, and basically that is how it would protect you, by just sucking in everything so you're able to, you know, attract the good that you want to attract in your life, in your circumstances or your environment. And then we have the color gray, which is basically cancellation, it is neutrality, it is balance. I connected with the element of air. Now, moving forward, we have both silver and gold. Silver is an element that I associated with the feminine aspect of the divine. I associated with the moon as well, so lunar energy. It is a color that I connect with the spirit realm. I connected with reflection. I connected with intuition. Also, psychic abilities, dreams, I associated it with balance as well. Think of how literally silver to me, it's like gray, but like with like a metallic, I guess. But also, it can be associated with false superiority. Moving forward, there's lastly the color gold. Gold is a color that I connect with the masculine aspect of the divine and also with solar energy. This is a color that I connect with divinity, prosperity. I connect it to wealth, prestige, accomplishments, and lastly, justice, of course. Lastly, in like terms of the amount that I'm gonna say. But think of how gold is the color of, you know, well, it's literally gold. Gold means power. And with power, you get the privilege of literally basically saying, oh, I'm able to get whatever I want. It's prestige. Look at all the money that you have. Success because of what allowed you to get the gold. And basically these are just like my also again, I am so sweaty. I'm like wet, y'all. I'm probably red. I can't really see my phone, but dude, like whew. But anyways, these are just like my own associations. I really want to know, like, if you were able to like connect with this specific list that I was able to give you guys, if something made sense to you, if it didn't, how you would explain it, if there's like other associations that these colors have for you, let me know. I would like to know, because when it comes to Color Magick, literally there's like a lot of freaking overlap, because for example the color brown can also be used for the physical body, like it's like in terms of healing. So it's like a lot, and I mean literally a lot of overlap. It's just a matter of, like, I guess again in this term it would be personal significance and how you would associate those colors relating to whatever it is that you needed and the sense that you can make of it. Purple can also be associated to the third eye. We have the color yellow, which is associated with, I believe it was the sacral chakra. We have red, which is the root chakra. We have what else? Green, which is the heart chakra, which again, it's a love. And basically, you know, again, a lot of overlap. So I would love to know your own thoughts about this. And once again, I cannot stress this enough, when it comes to Color Magick, you can be creative as heck when it comes to you working with it. So if you want to combine two colors to create a new color, and then use that new color to represent the combination of those two colors that you selected, definitely do that. Look at how the color pink is the combination of white and red. Think of how the color orange, yellow and red, you know, it's basically creating something new. And y'all, in terms of using it, literally be creative. You can do it. Now I am going to end the video because y'all, I am like sweating. I need the fan. Like, can y'all see me shining? Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I really do hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And definitely don't be shy and let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. So yes, without further ado, I shall see you guys later.